Hello, you guys. It's me again. Sorry, I really apologize because I was supposed to come back a few weeks ago, but for personal reasons, I could not. So now I'm back. I have time to discuss what I was about to discuss, and today we are going to talk about Jeezy and Jeannie Mai, as promised. Now, many people focused on Will and Jada or Didi and Cassie, but for now, I don't really have much to say about them, and a lot of people are talking about them. Now, I'm not the first, I won't be the last to discuss Jeannie Mai and Jeezy, but I watched other black female content creators who discussed the topic. So now I think I can give my viewpoint on this couple or this past couple because they filed for divorce and they're still divorcing as of now, because I think this isn't the last that we're going to hear of them. And in my perspective, I am going to tell you why I think the two were wrong. Now, you may hear views that you probably heard from other videos, but I will give my personal viewpoints as well. So first of all, let's start with Jeezy. Jeezy the Snowman. And I think the name fits him very well. Not just because of him being quite big, even though he lost weight, but also because it matches with his status as a rapper and what he used to rap about. And we know what snowman actually means in his case. This isn't the snowman from winter season. This is someone who deals with a certain substance, a certain white powder I cannot really talk about on YouTube. So the man basically has 2 or 3 baby mamas, but now I see that some black people want him back in the community. I see black women now supporting him and even asking for him to go back with a black woman. Like, why? Just so he could harm and abandon more black women? Because Jeezy is like Didi to me, this man has commitment issues, and you're really blind if you can't see that. He can have all the children in the world, but he can't have that male mentality of thinking, you know what, I have money, let's calm down, let's be a man, let's provide for my family. He doesn't have that. So I don't want a man like Jeezy in the community or among black women. We don't need that. So the man has commitment issues, but then he had a whole rebrand for his image. So hopefully for him, he doesn't end like Nick Cannon or Past. You know who Past is? He's a rapper. I'm using Past, but you know what his stage name is. So the man was never married until he met Jeannie Mai. What does that tell you? Because he tried to make his latest baby mama before Jeannie Mai look like an angry black woman. And he probably started to see Jeannie before he broke off his latest engagement with that black woman. The fact that he changed his image for Jeannie Mai and acted like a God-fearing traditional man only from the moment he got with her says a lot. Because we know that collectively most black men are traditional. They will only rely on their money, their wealth, and this gives them a part of the high value men, but are just actually they're just high earning men. They're not high value. However, I'd love to point out how most black men remain on code. The very same ones who spent months and months weaponizing his marriage with Jeannie against black women are now dragging Jeannie through the mud. Jeezy himself claimed that Jeannie Mai's comments, her dark meat comments she made years ago, wasn't a big deal because she knows rapper E40 more than he does. This is giving the whole, oh, I have black friends excuse. Now, speaking of Jeannie Mai, as I said earlier, the same black men who were weaponizing her marriage and Jeannie herself against black women are now the same ones dragging her through the mud. She's getting similar comments. She's getting the quote-unquote black woman treatment. Now, what I find quite hypocritical is, there's no victims in this marriage. The only victim is their daughter. Because black men are now blaming her while victimizing Jeezy. And Jeannie's dark meat comment, her stating how, she loved black guys, but, for her, dark meat on the side and white keeps her mean and lean. To me, that says a lot about black men's pathology. So she's aware of that. But at the same time, she's shading black women because she's claiming to be rough and mean and stating that is why she prefers white men. Who do you think she was talking about? Who do you think she was shading? She was shading black women because she's aware of the stereotypes. She's aware of the stereotypes representing black women, stating that black women are masculine, rough, mean, aggressive. They're not traditional enough. So, to me, she was not just emphasizing her preference for white men. She was shading her. She was shading ourselves. She was shading black women. And it's also part of the Asian culture. You know how, most Asian women, if they don't go for Asian men, they have to go for white Caucasian men. Now, her mistake to me was emasculating her white ex-husband, then playing the victim when he moved on. And I'm not necessarily defending her ex-husband. But I'm stating that she claimed she was so happy with him. And then when she became more famous than him, that's when she started to, act like a diva, as if she was more important than him, as if she made him. Plus the all money issues. Because she happened to be in a quote-unquote masculine position. Now, from what I heard in California, in Jeannie's case, for instance, her ex-husband had more money than her, but because she was the biggest earner, so in terms of job, she had to pay him alimony until he gets married again. And he got married with the white woman he moved on with. Again, we have also many instances of Jeannie shading black women again, with black women delusion, of course. And to me, those shades include, Jeezy and her were made for each other. She spent her time repeating this over and over again. She stated that she wanted to submit to her men, then stating in another interview that Jeezys are equal, and how, unlike her ex-husband, who dodged a bullet, in my opinion, would call, unlike her ex-husband, Jeezy would call her out for being too dominant. Strong, aggressive, the complete contrary of submissive, feminine, fit, and friendly. Because apparently only black women seem to have that issues, right? Only black women have those issues. Those issues. But now we see that Jeannie, a non-black woman, an Asian woman, has that issue as well. So not only did she admit that she was strong, aggressive, and not so submissive, feminine, fit, and friendly, she admitted that, it runs in her family because her mom, you know how her mom is, and her grandma were the same. But still, because she was married to Jeezy, we had that hypocrisy from black men. At that time, it wasn't a problem. And don't get me started on a 3-hour video from the late Kevin Samuels. Now, it's not a good thing to do to speak, of people who aren't part of this world anymore. But we know that Kevin Samuels was a big hypocrite, I know that many traditional people would agree with some of his talking points, but he was a big hypocrite. Because he never truly practiced what he preached. Remember Kevin Samuels' 3-hour video claiming how real high-value men want a woman like Jeannie Mai, not Lonely Love. That video did not age well at all. Again, I don't live with Lonely Love, but she's still doing great with her white boyfriend. And I think we have every right to discuss this topic again and again and again. Because if Jeannie was a black woman, in her situation, you would not really pity her. Both black men and black women would have come to her and told her, hey, should have chosen better. See the selective outrage? Also, I'd love to point out that Jeannie Mai is really masculine. Now, in my opinion, we need both energies, but Jeannie Mai is more masculine than feminine, in my opinion. She may be feminine in her looks. She dresses quite well, in my opinion. She's a beautiful woman, but she has a strong masculine energy. And she used to claim that Jeezy and her, they were perfect together, because they came from different backgrounds and they took their time to discuss all their differences. They knew what they were dealing with because they were in their 40s. I would believe that, but based on their situation today, they're actually different. And Jeezy did not seem to like Jeannie's culture. Because apparently in Asian culture, and not just in Asian culture, we have similarities in African culture as well. What took a toll on their couple was Mama Mai, Jeannie's mom, moving in with them. And then Jeannie's brother moving in with them too. And I bet he could not stand their characters altogether. And now Jeannie herself, if she wasn't that much of a hypocrite, I would feel really, really, really bad for her. Because of her past trauma, her being essayed by a male relative when she was a child, and her mom not believing her at the beginning. She did not deserve that. No one deserves that. But because of that past trauma, she did not want kids. She swore to God that she would not have kids. She even had that tattoo around her belly. Remember? She still has that tattoo. And I wonder how she's going to explain this to her daughter. But then she claimed to feel safe to have a family with Jeezy, of all people, while being aware of his history, only to end up a single mom. Her worst nightmare. So I'm not the first to say that. I think it was Chrissy who talked about it. But there you have it. Jeannie's bad strategy. Her oversharing every single detail of her relationship, of her marriage with Jeezy. From the very beginning, milking her relationship while ignoring Jeezy's history with women. And his alleged fight with one of his eldest sons. And then destroying her whole narrative in the process. Because she overshared a lot. And then Jeezy blindsided her with the divorce. Because apparently she was not aware. When was it? Maybe in September or October? That Jeezy announced the divorce. But he was... he actually had the papers since June. So I think, Jeannie was trying to prove a point, probably to her ex-husband and to black women. Then Jeezy was trying to prove that he could be a married man and traditional man and change his image, rebrand his image. Did not work. Now, regarding the possibility of them getting back together, who knows, maybe it could happen, but assuming that it could happen, if it ever happens, I doubt it will, but anything is possible, you never know. I think that people should not make a fuss about it. I think that you should just let things happen if it does happen, because to me, she's lost credibility. Actually, getting back with Jeezy would actually make her lose more credibility. Because even a week before he announced he was divorcing her, and you know that most men don't fight for divorce in general, she was promoting his book. So she was acting like the perfect wife and mother with her daughter. And now there's this. And really, in an era where, in my opinion, more and more black women are now, exploring their options, realizing that they deserve better, regardless of race, that they deserve to be treated like actual women, just like other groups of women. And I bet Jeannie's often on social media, so she's aware of that. But the fact that even with that, thinking that because she was an Asian woman, i.e. non-black, thinking that makes her special to Jesus' eyes, this just shows that she thought she was exempt from getting the same black men that black women get. Now the question is, would she be happy to see a black woman that she knows in a safe relationship with a white Caucasian man or an Asian man? Probably not. Most women like that, like her, or even, the exoticals like Erica Mena, Evelyn Lozada, Santana, Danny Lee, or even though I don't necessarily think she's super bad. Morally, these are exotical preferences who had to learn the hard way with black men after weaponizing their looks against black women. They had to learn the hard way. They thought that being exoticals would exempt them from getting the same treatment that black women get from most black men. Their hair, them not being too white but not black, having their biracial or black kids, hoping their black kids would have that lighter skin from them, not saying anything, and actually hanging out with black men, even after those said black men were caught making disgusting comments about black women. To me, that says a lot about them. And I think more and more of those non-black women are gonna learn the hard way. Black women, move in silence. Don't say anything, live your life. Karma is real. And side note, Jeezy, the pandering is unnecessary. You don't need to pander the black women. Now, based on Nia Long's history, that interview does not surprise me. But in that era, it won't have the same power as it would several years ago. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.